Hello and welcome to the Handicapable Black Woman Throne Room. My view of humanity is a whole new tea. Hello and welcome to the Handicapable Black Woman Throne Room. My view. Okay, well, this is a gray sheep episode, and if you're wondering what a gray sheep is, it's basically if you're one of the kids or even a family member that just was never understood, was always mistreated, or there's a lot of pain and hurt. And you, whenever your parents eh, compared you, and if you might even be a solo kid who's like maybe your parents compared you to one of your cousins or something like that, but it's basically you were always compared as less than, you were always told you weren't good enough, or even asked why aren't you like them, or don't you wish you were like them, and all just you're the type that because of all that hurt and pain, like I know a lot of us need therapy and everything, but with some of us, the gray sheep, there's a lot of hurt, a lot of pain because of things that happened in either the household or even the church. And oh, it's like I cannot wait. Like I am gonna be going through, I keep saying this, but yeah, I'm working on too many things at one time. Yeah, my channel's as messy as my life, but I have a couple screenshots from Christians who either laugh at me when I say I have church trauma, or they tell me, you don't have church trauma. There's no such thing. It's like what you have is individual trauma. You have to read the Bible and search inside yourself, because it's like maybe you just weren't paying attention well at church. And so, man, like, or, well, maybe the church member told you that it's like maybe you don't love God enough and that's the way you walk like that. Maybe it's because they read something. Maybe in their spirit, someone told them to tell you that because that was supposed to motivate you and you just didn't understand the motivation. So maybe you need to look inside your heart and for not only forgive them, but accept their words and maybe like practice walk like yeah. It's like another story for another day, but it's like I said, it's like that created the gray sheep that I am. And also being a gray sheep where while growing up, like your parents or individuals around you always told you who you are supposed to be, that you're not supposed to be who you were becoming, and the choices that you were making or the hobbies, the interests, the careers and stuff that you were making were of no good and you better not. And if since you are their child, they're going to tell you what you have to be and things like that. So yeah, I've lived through all of that. And a lot of gray sheep, yeah, we're the ones who cringe over the holidays because, like, yeah, we don't want to go there for Thanksgiving. But then when we don't want to go there for the holidays or Christmas, Thanksgiving, all of those occasions, then they want to put the hurt on us or the blame on us or tell us, we never hurt you. We never said this. We never said that. But then they'll turn around and try to say what you did or said, but you did and said those things because you were in pain because of all of the things that they did. Like, and that, well, that kind of makes me think of another area because it's like when parents try to sometimes blame and like put hurt on the children and say, you did this, you did that, you do all of this other stuff. But then when the child tries to say, yes, I did this because you did, and especially from a religious point of view, because it's like at my church they say like the child, you have to forgive your parents, they're your parents, and it's like they do things because, and they have a whole list of reasons and everything like that. And there's that one Bible verse also about how the child is supposed to respect and love their parents and stuff. But this is a story time, but all of what I just said Yeah, this is such a gray sheep episode, and one that I hope other people can relate to. Or, and the thing is, I hope those who do relate to it, I am able to at least let them know they're not alone. But then at the same time, my heart breaks for those who are going to relate to this story. So, okay, here we go. As many of you know, and if you're new, yeah, check out a lot more of my videos where I talk about my medical nightmares and the doctors of insurance and yeah, all that stuff. Yeah, I talk like I have so much more to spill and talk about with my disability life because I wasn't diagnosed until I was in my mid 30s, and I've been I've been through a lot of pain. Now I have to hiccup. Okay. Anyway, but when the doctors say the pain is in your head, that you're making it up, you're just lying and stuff like that. And so then your parents decide, okay, we're going to force her to walk right. So then they spank, yeah, let's just say they punish me in numerous different ways. Even sometimes, my mom, it's like sometimes it's like my dad acts like he didn't know. So I'll give him that. I'm like, okay, you say you didn't? Okay. But even leaving me outside in the cold and without a jacket, yeah. I had shoes, but I wasn't allowed to have a jacket, but put outside for a certain amount of time. So then I would come back in the house and then I would have to pick up my feet or walk around. If I didn't walk around right still, then I would be placed back outside until she would let me back in. So, okay. So, that's a sample, but here we go. Here is a little story because with my walking and everything, like I said, I wasn't diagnosed until late, but when I was a child, the doctors kept saying the pain is in her head. She's making it up. She's just making excuses, even though I walk the way I do since I started walking. And my parents took me to the doctors and they were like, oh, nothing's wrong with her. But my parents literally took me to the doctors about the way I walk. So I still like, still, it doesn't make any sense to me. It's like the doctors say I'm lying, but I've always walked like this. And so my mom enjoyed going on walks, especially she was trying to lose some weight. She was trying to, get smaller and stuff like that for different, like, yeah, there's some reasons, but yeah, she was trying to, with her health and stuff as well, but there were other reasons. And so she would tell my sister and I to go on walks with her. And I was always scared to go on walks because even while we were at the grocery store or like at Eastern Market or different just places, if I didn't pick up my feet, if I didn't walk the way she wanted me to, sometimes she would tell me if I continued, she would spank me when we get home or some kind of punishment. So I was always in fear. I hated walking near my mother. It's like even at the mall and stuff like that. It's like just anywhere, especially in public, I was scared. And it's crazy because even like before she passed away, I was I was in the kitchen making a lasagna. She wanted lasagna. She wanted me to make the lasagna. Then she was shocked that I knew how to make it like by heart or whatever. But yeah, she didn't know. Yes, like when I travel, it's like sometimes I make food from scratch because I don't want to order fast food on stuff all the time. So anyway, that's another story for another day. So, but anyways, I remember she was just like, "You're never around me. It's like you never want to be near me. You're always in your room." But I played it off and I was like, "Yeah, I've always been in my room." But it's like parents forget. It's like, and I just, a part of me, I don't think she forgot. I just think there's so many, like, I guess I'm gonna have to talk to a therapist so they can tell me. But is part of me just feels like the domino effect. Like when you do certain things, especially repeatedly, you're going to get a certain outcome. And so I avoided her at all costs. And that's one reason why, like, I never wanted to date Mr. Lakaki. But then I was working on my master's, my second master's, and my mom was like, "You're never going to finish. You're never going to graduate with that. You're never going to accomplish this. You think it's like you're not even that smart and stuff like that." So I'm already going through that toxic stuff. And so I didn't want to date this guy. He literally ran into the middle of the street with a knife on his wrist, telling me he's going to eliminate himself. And so, but his house, even though it was filled with so much toxicity and his addiction, and then later his diagnosis with his mental like, um well, yeah, it's like, I'll say it another like, because yeah, let's just say there were a couple times where I started researching different things because I just kept seeing a pattern with him of why he was acting the way he did, and he would threaten to punch a hole in the wall if I didn't do as he said. And so that's one reason why, like, so many men say, "Oh, you're not submissive. I need a submissive." And I was like, "Yeah, no." I like, after the trauma and after the crap I've been through with Mr. No Heart and Mr. Lakaki, I'm not going to be a submissive woman, especially like a man who's going to threaten to punch a hole in the wall if I don't do as he says and I don't jump when he says jump. Yeah. And I won't even get into Mr. No Heart because that's going to take away from most of the channel. And this is probably going to be a two-parter. Oops, sorry. But anyway, so I like, she wanted to go on her walks. She wanted us to go on her walks, and my perfect sister, this is the perfect one. Yeah, she would go on walks, and her and my mom would talk and giggle, and they would have great times. They bonded. They had such an amazing connection. I will never have that connection. I watched them have a great connection. And but then my mom would get mad when she would see me with other family members having a good time or talking, and tell, like, she would find stuff out from that family member, and it's like she would be like, "You don't tell me this stuff, you don't." So then there was a time where she would literally, like, she said once or twice a week, she would call me into the room, sit me down, and she was like, "Tell me everything about your week, tell me about your life, tell me, like." And it's just like, this is not how you, like, it's like, that's another reason why, went with Mr. Lakaki and with promotional modeling, whenever I had a chance to travel, I traveled because that means I was away from her. But yeah, just soak all this information in because it all comes together. But so there were times where it's like, I would have to literally march because my shoes would wear down more. Now we know why they wear down more, because of my disability, but my mom would tell me, if you keep wearing your shoes down, hey there, well, yeah, I'm messy, but if you made it this far, if you can leave either a sheep or a shoe emoji, or even let me know what are your favorite types of shoes, or even how would you have resolved the situation. But yeah, anyways, thank you so much for listening to my tale. And if you think you are part of the Gray Sheep Society, I will be working on a newsletter and creating things from Patreon and stuff pretty soon, pretty soon. But as you keep hearing me say, I'm trying to finish the novel and the website and all of that messy stuff. But yeah, if you guys can leave one of those in the messages or whatever, I'd greatly appreciate it. And it'll let me know that you guys are listening. I'll talk to you soon. Continue. That she was going to spank me or clean up the house all Saturday, and that my perfect sister wasn't going to have to do anything because at least she knew how to walk right. And yes, there's so much more to that, but I'm going to try to shorten the story. So I will literally, it's like there were some times where I'm like, no, I don't want to go on a walk. I'll read, or I was going to do anything and everything but go on that walk because I did not want to wear down my shoes, because I didn't want to get spanked for something I could not control. And so she would tell me that I better go on a walk, and I was just being lazy and a good for nothing. And so she would threaten that if I didn't go on a walk, she was going to spank me. So if I wore down my shoes, she was going to spank me. But if I didn't go on a walk, she was going to spank me. And so that meant, like, during, this is grade school, elementary, so elementary and middle school, but elementary, it's like, so recess, I decide I'm not going to play during recess because that's going to wear down my shoes. And then during gym class, I am going to do as little as possible so I don't wear down my shoes. Because if I have to go on the walk, I have to save my shoes from something. And so that's what I started doing. But then teachers started telling my mom during parent teacher conferences. And because even with the, like, I started getting twos, or because it's like it was one, two, three, like, for participation or behavior or whatever. And so I would get marked, especially even during recess. It's like I had a teacher, she was just like, she doesn't want to play with the kids, she doesn't want to run around, she doesn't want to. So then my mom would threaten to spank me if I didn't start playing. And it's just like, I can't wear down my shoes. But I can't tell my mom that because she would have slapped me. And so it's like, literally, I am trying my best to save my shoes so I don't get spanked, so I don't have to be punished. And my perfect sister she has no idea, because my mom, like I keep saying, she was really good. It's like she would call me to her bedroom. I would have to close the door, and then this is when she would say all of this awful stuff. And I'm not even gonna, like, in another episode, maybe later on, sometimes I'm like, okay, like, I need to wait a little bit longer before I say some of the things she said to me. I've said some of it, and I won't take that back. But there are some things that she has told me that has hurt so much. But since my father's still here, I'm just, yeah. And especially, like, when I tried telling him some of the things, he was like, no, she'll never do that, don't tell me that, she's gone now, don't tell, like, no, I don't want to hear it, I don't want to hear it, this isn't happening, this isn't true. And it's just like, and then the really sad part is, I have another sister who, she tried to protect me, and a lot of people don't understand her, and they don't understand her pain. But my sister saw and sometimes overheard some of the things she said to me, because some of those same things she said to her. And I she doesn't know I remember this, but I remember when she got a job at a retail or place or whatever, and she tried to find similar shoes, and she rubbed them out a little bit. I don't know how she did it. It's like, I still want to know why, how, and everything. But she tried to make sure I didn't get spanked. So she tried to find a pair of shoes as close as possible and wore them down just a little bit so that at least they looked like they were. And it's like, cause she looked in my shoes and everything to make sure they were the same shoe size. But I remember it's like, she was like, throw these away. And she told me to throw my old shoes away and stuff like that. And yeah, she saved me from being spanked at least one time. But it was crazy. So it's like, either I played at recess, or and then wear out my shoes or get spanked, or not play and risk getting markings on my report card and get spanked, or go on a walk with my mom and sister, wear down my shoes against get spanked, or refuse to go on a walk and get spanked for not going on the walk. So in almost every corner, I get spanked. It's like, but then at the end of the day, all the, like, and this is one reason why I blame the doctors. I blame my mom too, because like, everyone wants to say, the doctors didn't know any better. How are they supposed to know? Oh my gosh, like, it's like, well, it's a learning experience. It's absolutely traumatizing. And the fact that I was born with a disability, but now everyone wants to act like, well, We didn't know. But then I'm like, no, I told you, but you spanked me. I told you, but you called me a liar. I told you, but you told me since nothing was wrong with my perfect sister, that means there's nothing wrong with me. And it's like, or when I tried to tell you, you told me to go to the laundry room, get the scrubber thing, and then I had to scrub the tiles, the in between tiles, the whole, like, the entire bathroom floor until I would admit that it was because I was lazy. And that's the part that hurts the most. I was being punished, and there were times where I had to tell it's like I had to lie and say and admit that I was lazy, that it was my choice that I wanted to walk like that. So many times I had to do that. And so I am a gray sheep because the trauma, like, is traumatizing. And the fact that my mom would take it to the church and she was just like, oh, well, you need to pray about it. It's like would never want you to walk like this, so you're making this up. God wouldn't let you walk like this. God wouldn't let you. And it was just like, then going to church, and like sometimes members would come up to me and say, why do you walk like that? Oh, let me lay hands on you. Gotta plead the blood of Jesus over you. And then I get home, why'd you let them do that? It's like you just want this attention. You just want this attention. Now the church members are gonna think I don't believe it. They're gonna think I'm not a good mother, because then it's just like, oh my gosh, it's not all about you. I didn't ask for this. But then if I said that, it was more me thinking this, but in the back of my mind is like, why in the world would I want just people coming up to me laying their dirty hands? Like, I don't know where their hands have been. I don't know where their hands have been. No. Part of me was just like, it's like, okay, it's like if I was petty back in those days, I would have had some sanitizer. Like, no, if you're gonna touch it, no. It's like, first, I didn't want their hands on me, but being a child, I can't. Yeah, but like, especially at the church, anyway. But people say it's like, oh, there's no church trauma. There's no, but the when my mom would sometimes even tell me, God would never let you walk like this. Why do you think it's like this is such an embarrassment? Because you're making it look like we go to church every Sunday. You're making it look like the Lord is letting you walk like this. And he's not. He would never. How dare you? But yeah, and I know a lot, like, once the trolls who write me on social media, if they ever listen to this episode, they were gonna love this episode. But that's another reason why a lot of them don't meet the standards of my list on my profile. And I think I did a good job at least defending myself from people like them, because making the list that I made, for the most part, it gets rid of a lot of the trolls. It gets rid of a lot of the bullies. And some people are like, some bullies have educate like degrees and stuff. Yeah, some of them do, but a lot of bullies, like, well, some bullies like to adopt and foster. Yeah, because there was that one story where I think the couple is from Ohio, but they adopted black kids to treat them like slaves. Yeah, racism. But yeah, or in my opinion. But if you put the whole list together, yeah, especially the Democrat liberal part, yeah, I have a much less likely chance of having a trolling bully that's antagonizing and awful and narcissistic and just a absolutely terrible person. So, but yeah, I am a gray sheep. That is only one story, and I shortened the story. I might have a part two to add on to it, but my perfect sister has no idea about, like, sometimes she tells me about some of the things that my older sister put her through, And she says that I have no idea when I'm looking at like the last time this just happened. And I'm looking at her like, you have no idea, absolutely no idea what I went through. And when I wanted to tell you, or the times I did tell you and you did go back to mother, I got punished. I'll just say punished. Yeah. And so going to college, and then I thought finally I can say what goes on in this house. You went and told everyone I was a liar. So everyone wanted to ignore me, and they said I was a liar and I just want attention. And but yeah, these are the things that I went through. I am a gray sheep. I am a gray sheep. So for all of those who connect to this story, comment below and just know that I am sorry. I am so sorry. But also know that with my Patreon, I'm going to be creating a posse. It's like I'm like even virtual. I'm trying to think of some virtual events, or even like once I can get the Gray Sheep Society big enough, I want like events where in each area, each district or state, the Gray Sheep can come together and do an activity, like even axe throwing, or the like, oh, what do you, escape rooms and stuff like that, just to bond, get to know each other, and to vent and stuff like that, because I think that's what we need. And but yeah, anyways, you already know who it is. This is the Handicapable Black Woman. I am a woman, I am of color, and I am handicapable. But most importantly, I am human and you're human too. And if you connect with this, comment below, let me know. Also, if you know somebody that would be a gray sheep, share it. Share this, like share my videos. I spill all of my tea. I tell my life stories. Like, comment, subscribe, do whatever you can and everything, because like some people don't believe me. And to me, that it's kind of scary that it's just like literally I'm telling my life story and telling things that have happened to me. And like sometimes when people blame people for never getting married or not being in a relationship, and or not going to their parents' house and stuff like that, I'm just like, okay, maybe you need to know a little bit. Maybe you're missing vital information. Yeah. But yeah, because yeah, just wait. I have another episode about I dated a church guy for a little bit, but realized it wasn't a match. But then my mom literally tried to plan with this guy to get back with, like, yeah, let's just say that was a terrible. Never again. Never again. Talk to you soon.